because we've massively overgrown the government. We need to find ways to pay for it. But you got to think, for out of our 230-year history, 175 of those years, we didn't have a single income tax.
But we have it now. So
yes, but here's the thing. He wants to input just tariffs, eliminate income tax, as well as let go of 75% of the federal government.
That will only increase the price in the long run, though. That will benefit us in the short run, but increase the price in the long run.
No, let me ask you, when has government regulation ever reduced the cost of anything?
Reduce the cost of anything? Mm-hmm. Inflation Reduction Act.
The Inflation Reduction Act, 73% of that money went overseas. It actually had no effect except a negative effect on inflation, and 1% of the dollars from the Inflation Reduction Act has actually been spent on Americans. So just because it's called the Inflation Reduction Act doesn't mean it actually reduced inflation. In fact, there's not a single economist that has ever said the Inflation Reduction Act has any effect on inflation in a positive way. So, like, what you did was you got excited by the title at the top of the paper.
I mean, it's the fact that I've already stated that inflation levels have been in the lowest since they've been pre-pandemic.
They're not. They're actually the lowest they've been since 2021. They're still not.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but 2021, Biden was
already pre-pandemic. I didn't mean to say pre-pandemic. What I'm saying is 2021.
What you're saying is Biden is fucking us less than he's ever fucked us.
COVID?
But he's still fucking us.
It's not Biden's fault at all. COVID isn't Biden's fault at all. So how was he fucking us?
Here's why COVID is Biden's fault. Because COVID existed under Trump. Trump gave the power to governors to determine what to shut down in their state based upon their state. Oh. In fact, the economy was already on an uptick when Biden took over and put a national mandate on shutting down everything.
Whoa. COVID was neglected by Trump.
No, it wasn't.
He acted like it didn't exist.
No, he didn't. He passed it on to the governors and allowed
them. He acted like it didn't exist. He said we had it.
Oh, my Lord.
Go ahead.
Guys, hold on, man. Trump told the governors of each state, you shut down what is correct for your state. Because if you have a national mandate, that means that Montana has to shut down the same as New York, which makes no fucking sense. He said, each governor, you know what's best for your state. If you want to shut down, shut down. If you don't. It's up to you what you do in your state. And the economy was already on an uptick when he handed over to Biden. Then Biden put a national mandate where Montana and Wyoming had to shut down just like New York City, which makes no fucking sense. And it shut down the economy.
Okay, so when Trump said that he would have it handled within months and...
Yeah. Fault
because people are dying.
No, people were going to die. Here's the thing. Let's be real about this for a second. Every single American has been exposed to COVID, right? Like, we can agree on that. Throughout everybody having it, every single American has encountered COVID, right?
Right.
So anybody who was going to
haven't had COVID before, but I get what you're saying.
Anybody who was going to fucking die from it has died. We also can acknowledge that the average age of a person who died of COVID was 78 years old. That is the average age of people who died from COVID. Now, do you know what the average life expectancy is in the U.S.?
Around the same thing?
72. So the average age of death from COVID was 6 years older than the average life expectancy in the U.S. So let's fucking be real about this, bro. 0.002% of the American population died from COVID. More than 90% of the people who died were 6 years older than the average life expectancy. The states that did not shut down saw the same COVID death rates as the states who completely shut down. Because I live in Florida. If you compare our COVID death rate, which we have way more elderly people than California per capita. So if you compare the death rate in Florida to the death rate in California, Florida was actually less, and we didn't shut down.
So how do you personally think that Trump would have handled COVID differently than Biden?
No, Trump did handle COVID. He told the governors, you do what is best for your state. That is the best way to handle it, because there's no way the president knows what's best for Wyoming, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Arizona all at the same time. He told governors, you know how crowded your state is. You know your elderly population. You do what is best for your state, and I will make sure that what you need is federally funded. Because that's what Trump did. Trump said, hey, look, you all decide, and if you need federal funding for any of the programs you want to put into place, we will provide that funding. And he did that. And what happened was the states that were densely populated shut stuff down, protected people, protected their elderly population. The states that weren't densely populated continued to stay open and provide their agriculture and provide exports. And then basically we were starting to recover. Then Biden came in and said the whole country, national mandate, you have to shut down.
Well,
so Montana had to obey the same rules as New York City, which doesn't make any fucking sense, bro.
You say we were starting to recover, but you previously also stated that we were on an uptick.
We were. That's what recovery is, uptick.
No, we were going up. We weren't going back down. There was no recovery. There was no recovery.
No, hold on, wait. Maybe you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Our economy was on an uptick, which means it was recovering. The economy was going back up. Our GDP was going back up. Our exports were going back up. Our financial situation was going back up. Not cost, but actual production and exportation value was going back up. Biden came into office 2 months later, instituted a national shutdown, which caused and here's the thing, if you really want to look at it, look at economics, like look at any economic indicator and zoom in on the graph, right? You'll see that at the end of 2020, it was starting to do this. And then you'll see it about, he took office January 25th. It was like March 17th. You'll see the graph go and drop through the fucking floor. That was Biden doing that.
I will have to look that up. That is a good point made. I will have to look that up.
Please do. Here's the thing, man. COVID's a tough situation. I don't think anybody could have handled it well, and I don't think anybody handled it well. But I think the best thing you could have done was hand it over to the states to treat their states the best way they possibly could. I don't think the president should make decisions on what states do. And I think that's where the Trump policies were good. I am going to go pee. I have to. Emily's going to talk to you from the background. Yo.
What am I supposed to say?
Just yell out stuff. Why are you not talking?
Let us know if you're in the requests. Thank you, Big Boss. If you're in the requests, comment. Oh wait, I see one voting blue. Sigma, you're not in the requests. You keep saying that, but you haven't requested.
Just invite Sigma up.
No. If you are in the Sigma, you need to request. Hi, John.
Oh, so much better. No, I didn't wash my hands. Fuck you guys.
As Jim said, make sure you wash the
I didn't wash my hands.
Yeah.
God, I had to pee so bad. Sorry, guys. Like, look, I didn't want to leave, but goddamn, I had to pee.
BLC something.
Sigma keeps saying they're requesting.
Hold on, no, they're not.
I'm gonna look if I see Sigma.
BLC something.
Where's Sigma? I'm gonna see if I get Sigma. At least they're not Ligma.
BLC something, I don't see you in the request.
I see Sigma. I'm bringing them up.
I see it.
Hello, sir. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm good. So you voting Kamala, or you think Walz is in stolen ballot?
Actually, is it okay if I just ask you a question and then I'll hop off here?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So, and I'll admit this goes both sides. I see a lot of misinformation on both the Republican side and, I'm not going to lie, a lot on Harry's page too. And so my biggest question was, what do you think the best way for people to make sure that they're not flooding their creators you'd recommend to follow, or any specific news sources that aren't super biased one way or the other?
So that's the problem is that each subject requires different sources. Like, people ask me what sources I look up, and it really is dependent, right? If we're talking about things that Congress is doing, I look up the congressional record, and then because everything in Congress is recorded, so I look up the congressional record, and then I'll go to MSNBC and see what they say about it. I'll go to Fox, I'll go to Newsmax, I'll go to CNN, I'll go and see what they all say about it, and I look at the things that everybody agrees on, and then I look at things that match up with the congressional record. But it really depends on the topic. I mean, it's so dependent on the topic. Don't trust Fox. Don't trust CNN. Don't trust MSNBC. Don't trust Newsmax. There are real records out there. People, when you go to Google, there is a scholarly search you can do. Not a Google search where you just find every fucking result ever. There is a scholarly search you can do where you will find the scientific papers and the legislation according to what you're looking up. Use that far more than the normal Google search. Use Google Scholar.
Okay.
And that's the biggest thing is you have to find documents that are peer reviewed. You have to find documents that are verified. You have to find documents that are certified. You cannot just go, this news article said that. And here's the thing, you can use the news articles though. You can find a news article that says something and then take what they say, put it into Google Scholarly, and go look at the scholarly articles regarding it.
Okay. All right.
The best way to do it.
Okay. Thank you. Just two more things. One, thank you for your service. Two, thank you for being polite to people you disagree with, unlike Harry. And I guess one more thing. Everybody in the comments who is saying Sigma Master, we don't care about your opinion. Now you know I'm a nice guy, and I just wanted to ask you a question.
He likes Sigma. Be nice to Sigma.
I better see. I'm sorry, Sigma Master flooded in the chat. Thank you, sir.
Hey guys, say Sigma thumbs up. He did a good job.
So Mark, he's after Stuart.
Mark, you're after Stuart.
'Cause I saw Mark's thing, but I forgot.
So we want to do Mark, Stuart,
No,
or
Stuart.
Stuart, Mark, and then there was one other one more.
I can find Stuart.
I don't know. Stuart, where'd you go?
Maybe it's that one. See if it's that one.
I don't know. You,
How you guys doing?
Stuart?
So first of all, I also wanted to say seriously, thank you for your service. I am center left, but I am a patriot, and I do appreciate
All
that.
good, brother. So you voting for Kamala?
I am voting for Kamala. I was the one who ended last night, and we never got to finish the third reason. I told you my first two, which is
Run it
basically.
down, bro. What is it?
So we talked about the Supreme Court. I do want to mention, which we talked about, the healthcare issue is a major issue. And, one of the things which the other guy who, yes, you're right. I mean, part of what is being suggested with Medicare for all or a public option is public money. But so what? Right? I mean, why is it that if I get a gunshot, the cops rush to me? Who's paying for that? Obviously, the people are, right? So why is it?
If I get shot, my private insurance company's paying for it.
No, I meant when the cops come to save you and save your life, right? The police are paid for with public money.
Yes, but they're paid hourly.
Okay, but
Whether or not,
what's
see,
the
here's the
difference?
No, here's the difference. Because whether or not they had to save your life, they were getting the same amount of money.
Okay, but their existence you're paying for.
No, but
Look,
yeah,
there are
exactly.
things
But
also.
wait, Stuart. But that's the difference. We're paying for their existence. We're not paying for them based upon what each person needs. Whereas when it comes to healthcare, you're not paying for existence. You're paying for each incident, which if you have a morbidly obese smoker, their incidence is going to be significantly higher than a marathon runner who eats vegetables, right?
Okay, but a marathon runner who eats vegetables oftentimes ends up with cancer. So that has nothing to do with.
Okay, hold on, wait. Let me rephrase it then. We're paying for a person who has a shitload of medical problems versus somebody who doesn't. Right, and that's
because it's the fair thing to do. I mean, it's the same way people have to pay for public schools even if they don't have children, or if they have children in private schools. There are certain things, whether you want to call them rights or whether you want to call them.
Hold on. Again, you're paying for the existence of the schools. You're not paying for
what? What is that? How does that make a difference? I mean, again, if I don't have kids, I am paying money to the government for something I don't use. It's called being a citizen of a nation, and there are certain things, especially.
Because your taxes don't go up because there are more students.
My taxes are going, and while they're state taxes versus federal taxes, it's a distinction without a difference. The bottom line is we all pay taxes for things we don't use.
Exactly, but again, you're confusing taxes paying for static things or taxes paying per incidence. There's a difference.
I understand there's a difference, but there's a thing in law called a distinction without a difference. Yes, it's different, but so what?
There's a distinction and a difference. There's a distinction and a difference.
Yeah, I don't think so. The bottom.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you can't accept, here's where people try to confuse this.
No.
When you're talking about public schools, you are going to pay the same tax whether 10 people go to that school or 100 people go to that school. It's the same tax. When you're talking about healthcare, the tax completely fucking changes based upon how many fucking unhealthy people need care. What's up, Mark?
So, I want to start out by saying that I'm a Trump supporter, 100%, and I love